Welcome to the course Formal Languages and Automata Theory. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about one of the type of finite automata, which is deterministic finite automata. Coming to the outline of this lecture, so here we will discuss about what is the definition, model of deterministic finite automata, how a DFA process strings, then the language of DFA. That means acceptance of strings and languages by deterministic finite automata. So these are the topics we are going to cover here. Definition of DFA, introduction followed by definition, then how a DFA processes strings, then various simpler notations for DFA, then extending the transition function to strings, then the language of DFA. So before discussing the deterministic finite automata, you can recall once the finite automata. So in our earlier lectures, we discussed about various concepts related to finite automata. So now in finite automata, we have two types of finite automata. So one is called as deterministic finite automata, which is abbreviated as DFA. Then another type is non-deterministic finite automata, which is abbreviated as NFA or NDFA. In simpler terms, we will use NFA. In this lecture, we will discuss about completely the deterministic finite automaton. In the coming lectures, we will discuss about non-deterministic finite automata. So now coming to deterministic finite automata. So here, whatever the concepts we will discuss in deterministic finite automaton, almost 98%, almost 99% itself, all are similar to finite automata. In finite automaton, what we discussed, the introduction, model, that means block diagram or functional diagram, then formal definition, then examples, then representation of finite automaton using two representations, that is transition table and transition diagram, then extended delta definition of finite automata, then acceptance of strings and languages by finite automata. All these concepts, we will repeat each and every concept here, but we will stick on to the restrictions that are used in DFA. That is the only thing. So remaining concepts all as it is, we will follow from the finite automata. So now we will see what are the restrictions, then what is deterministic finite automaton actually. So for every input symbol, let us take A. From a given state, there exists exactly one transition. It's very important. There can be no transition from a state also. That is not an issue. If any transition exists, means only one transition from a state on one input symbol. And we can determine to which state the mission enters. So the mission is called deterministic mission. Since it has finite number of states, thus the mission is called deterministic finite mission. That means automaton. That is our actual name, deterministic finite automata, DFA. How the name DFA comes means this is the reason. For every input symbol, let us assume A, on a given state, a particular state, there is exactly one transition. That means it does not contain more than one transition from a state on same input symbol. Even if there are no transitions also allowed, but if any transition means only one is allowed, then we can easily determine to which state the mission enters. Therefore, the mission is called as deterministic mission. Since it has finite number of states, not infinite, and the mission is called as deterministic finite mission, nothing but automaton, which is at deterministic state. Then Finally, that is called as deterministic finite automata, DFA. So then coming to the process of DFA, how it works. So everything same as finite automaton except the condition what we mentioned just now. So the automaton reads on symbol from the input tape and then enters a new state that depends on only the current state and the symbol just read, which is deterministic in the operations. So this is called deterministic finite automata. So in finite automata also the concept that means change of state, when change of state occurred uh, based on the current state and current input symbol just read. In DFA also same. The automaton reads on symbol from the input tape. In the tape, whatever the symbols. So the automaton reads from the tape, one symbol at a time, and then enters a new state. So this can be depends on only the current state at present, what is the state, and at present what is the symbol read, just latest symbol. That means what is this called as deterministic in the operation. We are determining. So this is called as deterministic finite automaton. Then the rules or restrictions in DFA. Just now we mentioned. So one of the rule from a state on any input symbol, exactly it contains only one transition, even if there are no transitions also. So the first rule is in DFA from a state with the same input symbol, there is no more than one transition exist. This is the first condition of deterministic finite automata. So remaining everything same as finite automata. So here you can see, let us consider the following two examples here. So first here we have taken a finite automaton with the two states, Q0 and Q1. So then second one also same. Here we are calling first one is not DFA, second one is DFA. How it is true, you can verify. Let us verify the first one. From a state Q0. See on input A, it is going to Q0 itself. So let us write the transitions. First one, delta of Q0 on input A, it is going to Q0 itself. So this is the first transition. Then second transition, Q0 on same input symbol, it is going to next state also. So delta of Q0 on A, it is going to next new state, that is Q1. So what we mentioned, our restriction rule, you can read now. From a state. So now see, this is state. From a state with the same input symbol. See here A, here also A. So there is no more than one transition. But here you can see two transitions are there. So not more than one transition. So here two transitions. Therefore, it is violating the condition. It is violating the condition of the DFA, what we mentioned. Therefore, it is not DFA. Even for one state with one input symbol, if it has more than one next state, then it violates the condition of DFA. So therefore, the first state on the same input symbol, it has more than one transition. So it does not satisfy the condition. Therefore, it is not DFA. If it is not DFA means what is this? This may be a non-deterministic that we will see further whenever we are discussing the NFA topics. Then the second case you can see we are calling it as DFA. Here you can see from a state Q0 on input B, it is going to Q0. That means one input, it has only one next state. Then on input A, this is a different input. It is going to Q1. Even for some states, there is no transition also. Here say Q1 on input A, input B, there are no transition. That is allowed. If any transition exists means on one state, one input symbol, only one transition. Now Q0 on B, only one transition. Q0 on A, only one transition. So this is satisfying the condition of DFA. Therefore, this is DFA. Then coming to second rule, in any deterministic finite automaton, there is no transition with epsilon. Epsilon means empty string or null string labeled under the edges. So such type of transitions are not allowed in DFA. The first example you can see here. So here you can observe we have a transition with null epsilon. So Q naught with epsilon with null string, it is going to Q1. So this is not allowed in DFA. And also it satisfies the above condition as usual. From a state on one input symbol, there exists only one transition. So Q naught on A only one, Q naught on B only one. But it allows epsilon, therefore this is not DFA. Now DFA means normal as usual by satisfying the first condition. From a state on one input symbol, only one next state. So Q naught on A, it has only one next state. Q naught on B, it has only one next state. Then Q1 on A, it has only one next state Q1. Then Q1 on B, it has only one next state B. Here don't confuse Q1 on A, Q1 on B. It is going to Q1 itself, loop only. But there are no more than one transitions from Q1 with same input symbol. So that is not allowed here. That means more than one transition not allowed with the same state, same input symbol. That is not exist here. Therefore, it is satisfying the condition of DFA. Therefore, this is DFA. Now, any finite automaton you can take by satisfying these two conditions. Then remaining all concepts similar to finite automaton. So whenever you are defining transitions, you can make sure these two conditions are satisfied. Then that is called as deterministic finite automaton. Then coming to model or black diagram of deterministic finite automaton. Everything same as finite automaton. Now coming to model. The model or black diagram of deterministic finite automaton is same as finite automaton as shown in the following diagram. Same diagram I have taken from finite automaton, whatever we discussed. What it contains input tape, which is divided into number of squares or cells. Each square or cell holds one symbol at a time. So it holds two special symbols. So that is one at left end, then another one at right end, which are called as end markers. So these end markers denotes the tape length is restricted with the finite. The absence of end markers makes the tape is of infinite length. Then we have one finite control also called as CPU, which consisting of set of states. Then another component output, which is combination of either yes or no, accepted or reject. Then one reading head or tape reader is connected from finite control to input tape, which is used to read input symbols from tape. So it reads one symbol at a time. So the reading head direction is restricted towards right only in the finite automata. Then the components, this is the purpose. Same what we discuss in finite automata, same purpose only. Here only from a state with same input symbol, at any instant, it has only one transition, one next state exists. It does not contain more than one transition from a state with same input symbol. That is the only condition of DFA. Remaining all are same. Now you can see formal definition or mathematical definition of DFA, which is same as finite automata. A DFA can be defined as a quintuple or tuple denoted by M equal to Q sigma delta Q naught F. All five tuples are same as finite automata, what we discussed, the same. So where Q is finite or non-empty set of states, also called as internal states, whereas sigma is input alphabet. Then Q naught is initial state or start state, where Q naught in Q. So that is Q naught belongs to Q. Then in any automata, initial or start state is only one. Then F is set of final or accepting states. More than one final state is possible in any automata. Therefore, F is subset of Q. Then coming to delta, which is called as transition function or moving function. So which is same as in finite automata. But the transitions, the restrictions has to be followed. So the transition function or moving function or mapping function. Using this function, we can determine the next state. So which is a mapping function mapping from Q cross sigma to Q. That can be written as a delta colon Q cross sigma to Q. By taking states from Q and input symbol one at a time from sigma, then it produces what is the next state. This mapping is usually represented by any one of these two. One is transition table and another one is transition diagram. These two we covered in finite automata. Same notations we will use here also. Then let us check one example of deterministic finite automata. So a DFA M equal to Q sigma delta Q naught F, where the tuple values are given. So where here you can see the order you need to follow. The first tuple in M is nothing but Q set of states. Q naught Q1 are the states. The second tuple is nothing but sigma input alphabet A comma B. Third one is delta. Fourth one Q naught is initial or start state. Then last tuple is final state. Here one final state is given, more than one also possible, but initial state is only one. So therefore here the same tuples are written here. Q naught equal Q equal to Q naught Q1. Then sigma equal to A comma B. Q naught is initial or start state. Then final state F is Q1. Now the transitions are given below. You can verify by seeing the transitions whether it is really deterministic finite automata or not. What are the two conditions you need to verify? It does not contain any transition with epsilon in place of input. Then for a state with same input symbol, it does not contain more than one transition. These two conditions you need to verify for each and every problem of deterministic finite automata. Now you can see from state Q0 on input A, the next state is Q1. Then from state Q0, see your input is different. On B, the next state is Q0. So from Q0, with the different inputs, we have different next states. But with same input symbol, more than one transition does not allowed here, does not exist here. Therefore, the Q0 state satisfying the condition. Like all states, it has to satisfy. Then coming to Q1 on input A, it is going to the Q1 itself. The next state is Q1. Then Q1 with another input, it is going to Q0. See, but here with same state, we don't have more than one transition. Therefore, it is satisfying the condition of DFA. Now, this is deterministic finite automata. Now, for this, we can construct so the transition diagram and the transition table as same as in finite automata and what we discussed. Now the transition diagram, you can see how to draw the transition diagram. Here first I can take what are the states here. Two states are there. Q0 is one, then Q1 is another state. Now represent initial state. Q0 is the initial state. Then the final state is Q1, represent within double circle. Then include the transitions. First Q0 on A. So Q0 on A, it is going to Q1. Then Q0 on B, it is going back to Q0 itself, that is loop. Then Q1 on A, again it is going to Q1 itself, which is called as a loop. Then Q1 on B, it is going back to Q0. So this is the transition diagram of the DFA example given here. Similarly, transition table. So transition table, you will take Q by sigma. So here column headings, you can take inputs. What are the inputs here? Sigma equal to A comma B. Take AB. Then row headings, you can take the states. What are the states here? We have two states, Q0 and Q1. So now the initial state is denoted by drawing a prefixed arrow. The final state is denoted within a circle in the table itself. Now here you can see Q0 on A, the transition directly you can write down. The values are next states. Q0 on A equal to Q1, then Q0 on B equal to Q0, then Q1 on A equal to Q1, then Q1 on B equal to Q0. So this is called as transition table. So for any given automaton, we can draw transition table and transition diagram. So the same representations what we discuss in finite automata will be used for representation of deterministic finite automaton also. So the same simpler notations we mentioned here. Simpler notations for DFA, nothing but specifying a DFA as a phi tuple with a detailed description of the delta transition function is both tedious, that means very difficult, and hard to read. There are two preferred notations for describing automata. One is a transition diagram, just now what we drawn, which is a graph such as the ones we saw in our previous lectures. Then a transition table, which is a tabular listing of the delta function, which by implication tells us the set of states and the input alphabet. We saw in lecture 3. Now we demonstrated for the example what we discussed here, how to draw its transition table and diagram. Again we demonstrated. Here again shown the printed diagram and table for the above example. This is the transition diagram, first one. Second one is transition table. So like any given DFA, you can draw the transition diagram and transition table. Then coming to next concept, properties of delta function of DFA, also called as extended transition function of delta to strings by extending the strings. So which is same as finite automaton. Whatever the concept we covered, here also same. Properties of delta function of DFA or extended delta definition of DFA is denoted by the same using delta bar or delta cap. So delta bar or delta cap. So the transition function delta takes two parameters. So one is set of states Q, and second one is input alpha symbol, that means input alpha with sigma. Then whereas delta cap is the delta cap. Delta cap takes two parameters, the same as first one, delta state. The second one, but in place of sigma, it takes a string, that is sigma closure. Therefore, it is defined as delta cap equal to Q cross sigma closure to Q. So this is nothing but here closure which gives strings. So that is the difference between delta and delta cap. So now with this, the properties the same as finite automaton. First property is so delta cap of Q naught comma epsilon equal to Q naught. That means without input, there is no change of state. Here epsilon is not input, it is empty string or null string. So there is no change, you will get same. This means the state of the system can be changed only by an input symbol. The second property also same as finite automaton. So delta cap of Q naught comma W, a string followed by input symbol. This can be expanded by using delta of delta cap of Q naught comma W. So comma A, here we separated the rightmost input, then the string is separated. This final value, let us assume P. Then where the string W belongs to sigma closure, then the state Q naught belongs to the set Q, then small a belongs to sigma, which is input symbol, then capital P belongs to Q, the set of states. Then how a DFA processes strings, nothing but acceptance of strings, how we demonstrated in the finite automata. Same concept will be used here. A string W is accepted by a deterministic finite automata M equal to Q sigma delta Q naught F. The condition is same as finite automaton, what we discussed. This is the condition. With extended delta definition, delta cap of Q naught comma W. Q naught is the initial state, W is the string. Then you can find this value. If you will get a state P, at least one state from P belongs to F. Then you can say the string is accepted by the given DFA, or DFA processes the given string. Then this is basically the acceptability of a string by the final state. Same concept we studied in finite automata. Now the concept of acceptance of language also same. Now let us take the same example what we discussed in finite automata. So consider the transition diagram as shown below. Check whether the input string AABB is accepted or not by the given DFA. So it is DFA or not, you can verify. For every state on same input symbol, it does not contain more than one transition, then it does not contain epsilon transition. Here no epsilon transitions are there. Now you can see multiple transitions exist or not. Q0 on A, Q1, so only one. Q0 on B, Q0 only one. Q1 on A, Q1 only one. Q1 on B, Q2 only one. Q2 on A, Q2 only one. Q2 on B, Q2 only one. For every input, there exists only one transition. Even there are no transitions also allowed, but it does not contain more than one transition. So this is DFA. Now acceptance of the given string. So how to do same as finite automata. Take extended delta definition. So you need to find out this value for the given string AABB. This can be written as using the extended delta definition. Delta of delta kappa. You can separate the string from the input symbol. Now we separated the first input symbol. So again you can apply delta kappa of now separate this one. Q naught A, then A is separated. Earlier B is separated. Again you can separate the remaining input A. This can be written as delta kappa of whenever you can separate A, then here nothing will be there, so null, empty. That is epsilon. Now A is separated. Earlier A is separated, then B is separated. You know this value using extended delta definition. Delta kappa of Q naught comma epsilon equal to Q naught. Then substitute this value delta of now this value becomes Q naught. Now the recent input symbol comes here. Then the remaining input symbols. What is this value? You can substitute delta of Q naught on A. Here you can see delta of Q naught on A equal to Q1. Substitute this value delta of Q1. Then the remaining input is A. Then next input is B. Next delta of Q1 on A. So here Q1 on A equal to Q1. Now you can substitute Q1. So delta of Q1, next remaining input is B. Now delta of Q1 on B. So what is this value? Q2. Now what is Q2 here? Q2 is final state here. Therefore Q2 belongs to F. Therefore the given string. So what is the given string here? AAB. So is accepted by the given DFA. See, you can observe what is the difference in finite automata acceptance of strings and deterministic finite automata acceptance of strings. There is no difference. The process, everything is same. Only at the initial stage, the given automaton, whether it is satisfying the two rules or restrictions of DFA or not. That is the only thing we need to identify. Remaining everything is same. Here you can see the solution mentioned same here. So therefore the string is accepted by the DFA. Suppose here you will get other than a final state. Suppose you will get Q1 or Q0. Those are all not belongs to final state. Therefore the string is not accepted. Similarly, a second problem you can practice it in finite automata. We already discussed. Same problem we have copied here. So you can practice this problem. So this is also a DFA. Why? Because from a state and same input symbol, it does not contain more than one next state or one transition. The solutions are already given here as well in finite automaton problems, same solutions. So you can practice here. So here you can, the first one ABBA, here you will get Q1, which is not belongs to, this is actually Q1. So here which is not belongs to F. Here the final state is Q2, but here we got Q1, which is not belongs to F. Therefore, the string is not accepted by the given DFA. Second string BA, BB, AB. So finally here you will get Q2. So here Q2 is the final state. So therefore, the string is accepted with the given DFA. Now coming to the language of a DFA, also called as acceptance of language by DFA. This is also same as finite automata concept of acceptance of languages by finite automata. So a language L that is accepted by a DFA, M equal to the 5 tuple definition Q sigma delta Q naught F, which is denoted by same as finite automata concept L of M, and the set of all strings accepted by M. Now L of M equal to X string such that so delta cap of Q naught comma X is in some F, where X is a string and X belongs to F. The same definition what we followed in the finite automaton acceptance of languages. That same problem you can take back here and solve it. The language which consisting of the strings of a comma b whole closure with having even number of b's. So there we have taken one example string, and that we verified whether that is accepted by the given finite automata or not. Once it is accepted, then the language is also accepted by the given finite automata. Now same concept you can apply, but you can name it as DFA, the deterministic finite automata. Yeah, the problem here, same problem mentioned here. So you can practice it. The solution also given here. So we have taken one sample string which consisting of even number of b's. Finally, this string is accepted. Therefore, the language is also accepted by the given deterministic finite automata. So that is about acceptance of strings and languages by deterministic finite automata. There are some drawbacks or disadvantages of deterministic finite automata. Whereas the disadvantages of deterministic finite automata are, so constructing a deterministic finite automaton is very difficult. So constructing a DFA is very difficult. Then the deterministic finite automaton cannot guess its inputs. Then the deterministic finite automaton is not very powerful, having least computational power, this one. So at any point of time, the DFA is only in one state. Actually, this is the restriction of DFA. So a DFA does not have the power to be in several states at once. So these are all the disadvantages of deterministic finite automaton. All these drawbacks or disadvantages can be overcome by using the other type of finite automaton, which is called as non-deterministic finite automaton. Whatever the drawbacks of DFA, now those are all called as advantages of non-deterministic finite automaton. So that we will cover in the upcoming lectures. So now we'll stop this lecture. Then coming to summary, what we covered till now in deterministic finite automata. So we discussed about what are the rules of deterministic finite automata, then definition of deterministic finite automata. Then we also discussed the model of deterministic finite automata. Then finally, the extended delta definition of deterministic finite automata. After that, the acceptance of strings by deterministic finite automaton, that is how a DFA processes strings. Then simpler notations for DFAs, nothing but the two representations, transition table and transition diagram. Then finally, extending the transition function that we already mentioned. Then the language of DFA, nothing but acceptance of language by deterministic finite automata. Finally, we discussed the drawbacks or disadvantages of deterministic finite automata. Now in this lecture, whatever the problems we discussed, you can practice it, and more problems you can take from textbook or online. Then you can practice those problems also. So now in the coming lecture, we will come up with some new topics. So till then, goodbye, happy learning.